5 new long-delayed guidelines from the CDC for schools and businesses looking to reopen during this pandemic. Now, this comes as President Trump continues to feud with some of his own experts. He and his chief of staff were the only people not wearing masks yesterday during a visit to a medical supply facility in Pennsylvania.
Meanwhile, a whistleblower is alleging a dangerous lack of leadership in the federal coronavirus response. Dr. Rick Bright testified he believes the government's actions put millions of Americans at risk, including medical workers. He says if nothing changes, the worst may be yet to come. Weijia Jiang reports from the White House.
Our window of opportunity is closing.
Dr. Rick Bright issued a stark warning if the administration doesn't step up its response to COVID-19.
2020 could be the darkest winter in modern history.
Bright told lawmakers the federal government's response has already failed to protect some Americans.
Lives are endangered, and I believe lives were lost.
And he said early signs of drug and gear shortages were ignored.
I'll never forget the emails I received from Mike Bowen and indicating that our mask supply or N95 respirator supply was completely decimated. And he said, we're in deep shit. I pushed that forward to the highest levels I could in HHS and got no response.
President Trump dismissed Bright's accusations.
I watched him, and he looks like an angry, disgruntled employee who, frankly, according to some people, didn't do a very good job.
And suggested that a vaccine was not far away.
I think we're going to have a vaccine by the end of the year.
Critical supply.
But Bright said that was overly optimistic.
A lot of optimism is swirling around a 12 to 18-month time frame. If everything goes perfectly, we've never seen everything go perfectly.
Hours after Bright testified that there is still no master plan, the CDC issued some long-delayed guidance for reopening schools and businesses. But CBS News has learned it's a less detailed version of an earlier draft that the White House criticized as overly prescriptive. CBS News medical contributor Dr. David Agus says the guidelines don't adequately show states how to reopen safely.
These guidelines are watered down. They went from what is reported to be a 63-page document to a single-digit page set of simple guidelines. And the details on how to do and how to enact things were just taken out.
As Dr. Agus just mentioned, that 63-page document was boiled down into these 6 single-page memos covering topics like workplace, restaurants, and schools. But the guidance is very general, in many cases the same, with broad suggestions like promote good hygiene and have a plan if employees get sick. A senior administration official tells CBS News Americans do not have the time to read 63 pages, and the CDC says they will publish more guidance in the coming days and weeks. Anthony?
We just